Welcome to the Women in Tech podcast series, brought to you by Wisconsin Tech Month. This series is all about shining a light on the women who are driving change and breaking barriers in tech. Each episode is about celebrating their journeys, successes, and the impact they're making in our industry. Let's hear their stories.
So actually, my journey was not in tech initially. It was started very young in the corporate world, and I was doing more like operations, administrative systems, processes, things of that nature. And I ended up finding myself drawn into a lot of the stuff that drove those processes and operations, like technology. So I would get curious and ask questions: where are you running that database from, or where is the system coming from? And one thing led to another. And it wasn't until I joined my current employer, Northwestern Mutual, where I started diving a little bit more into technology. And in one of my roles, it just happened that I landed in a technology area. And I remember the initial years, this is probably like 6, 7 years ago. Some of my peers started asking me to join what they had just created at the time, which was called the Woman in Tech. And even at that point, I was very like, I'm not a woman in tech because I do not have an engineering background, or I don't have a technical role. And they're like, no, you work in tech, and a lot of the stuff that you do is tech. So therefore, you are a woman in tech. And so that was my initial sort of assimilation and acknowledgement that I am a woman in tech. And I realized that I was very tech savvy. Everything from always being first and curious in learning new technologies, emerging, even testing whenever something was going to come out. I'd be like the first one raising my hand and saying, can I try? Can I be part of the pilot? So I am not technical in coding or any of that nature. My background in tech has been mostly from the processes and operations and leading and making sure that a lot of our standards procedures were followed. And it's just been amazing learning on the side of things where you merge a little bit of the people and the technology and how it all comes together. Yeah, a lot of my roles, I've often been the one and only, and I've often been the outsider again because I don't have an engineering degree. So from that perspective, I now see it as a blessing and a curse because a blessing I got to be very curious and ask questions that oftentimes others wouldn't think about because you get so embedded into the day to day of technology. And so I would use that as a leverage to help me pull and ignite a little bit of curiosity. On the other hand, it was a lot of, well, you don't have knowledge on the technical side. So it was a lot of learning, asking, leaning on my peers that had the knowledge, and really embracing the I don't know, but I will learn about it. So it has been transformational for my career because I call myself the glue now between my engineering departments and a lot of what I'm doing in transformation. And even operationally in my leadership day to day. So I am very close to organizational change management. And so you kind of have to be in the middle of all. So it has been a blessing, knowing and not knowing sometimes what that all entailed. But I'm glad to see that there's been a lot of movement on what that looks like today, and that there's a lot more women in tech. I'll start with the challenges. I think the challenges has been speaking the same language oftentimes, and I'm talking not even the Spanish, English. It's more the technical terms. Working with some of my teams that get very technical, and sometimes I get so lost, and I'm like, dumb it out for me because I don't know what you're talking about. So it has been a challenge, but I also embrace it as a learning opportunity because I love learning. And so that has been something that I'm learning still to overcome. And technology moves so quickly. So getting on board with those changes, embracing them, and really getting acclimated, I really starting to see it more as opportunities and challenges. And some of the successes has been of how quickly when you integrate technology with your day to day and the power that it brings to create efficiency and move teams through success and seeing, I guess you can say, the big picture and a product done, that is very, very just rewarding to see how it all comes together. Regardless of how long it takes or how quickly it might come, it's rewarding to see the final product done. Oh my God, getting my hands on all the new cool stuff and obviously challenging what we already have in place and questioning why are we still doing this? And one of my favorite topics, obviously, a lot of people nowadays is probably artificial intelligence, AI. And so anything from as a leader questioning the biases behind how AI is being created and generated. I mean, this is no news. This has been all over the world of what that entails, but also how do we use it and how do we, I always strive with the conscious leadership of the use of technology. And how do we embrace it in a way that it's effective and augments and enhances our people leadership skills rather than see it as a borderline. It's going to come and replace my job. No, it's not. It's here to help it make it more efficient. So there's a little bit of the taboo of that is the part that I get to enjoy the most, of helping change the perception and the mindset of a lot of my teams that I work with and the people I touch, to let them know that technology is not going away. Either we jump on board and embrace it and make the most of it to make us better and more efficient. And I would say that's the part that I enjoy the most. Jump in, be curious, ask questions. I used to be so fearful of being the person in the room with not an engineering degree asking the dumb question. And then I learned it doesn't matter how much you have been in tech, there always will be a value to the question you're bringing. And knowing that we don't have the answers. It doesn't matter all the expertise and all the technologies and all the emergent new ways of doing things. We're still evolving. And so know that curiosity is going to be your best friend. Yes, it may be uncomfortable at times, but get comfortable being uncomfortable, because that is how the greatest innovations come to play. Yeah, so I'm in all the social media platforms as Dr. Xochitl Gonzalez. I also actually just launched a podcast myself not too long ago. It's bilingual, Spanish and English, or Spanglish as I call it. It's called Transcendencia en Acción. I'm in LinkedIn, and so I'm always just within a click away for any questions or advice. And I'm always trying to get people's stories out in the air as well, just like this one, because I think it's important to carry the message and let other generations as well know that there is a power in community and collaboration. And this is a time where we need to unite our voices and let everyone know that technology and the love as humans, we all have to come together. So reach me out anytime, Dr. Xochitl Gonzalez.
And that's it for today's episode of the Women in Tech series. A big thank you to our guest for sharing her story and inspiring us all. Make sure you check out all of the amazing things that are happening during Wisconsin Tech Month. There is so much to discover, from workshops to panels to networking events. Stay connected with our incredible community of tech leaders and innovators throughout the month of October. Thanks for listening.